I'm Matt Walker. Donald Trump again dismisses Russia findings. Stocks open lower, and former university's president's trial begins. These stories and more on today's Franciscan Beat. Paris police searched the headquarters of the National Financial Prosecutor after a phone-in bomb threat, but found no explosives. A Paris police official says employees are being allowed to return to the building after explosive experts combed the site following the threat Monday. The prosecutor's office is in central Paris, near the Garnier Paris Opera House. The official, who wasn't authorized to be publicly named, says that the empty bomb threats are a frequent occurrence in the French capital. France remains under a state of emergency after a string of deadly Islamic extremist attacks. Britain's government says it will trigger Article 50, signaling Britain's departure from the European Union on March 29th. The Department for Exiting the European Union said in a statement that Britain's permanent representative to the EU, Tim Barrow, informed the European Council President Donald Tusk of the timing on Monday morning. The notification of triggering Article 50 will come in the form of a letter. Brexit Security Secretary David Davis said in the statement that the country is on the threshold of the most important negotiation for a generation. President Donald Trump is again dismissing the conclusion of U.S. intelligence agencies that Russia meddled in the presidential campaign to help him beat Hillary Clinton. In tweets today, Trump accused Democrats of making up the allegations as an excuse for running a terrible campaign. And he says investigators should instead be going after leaks to the media. Donald Trump's latest outburst about alleged Russian interference in the election comes as lawmakers prepare to hear today from FBI Director James Comey and National Security Agency Director Michael Rogers. They'll be testifying on the allegations of Russian hacking and also on whether there were any connections between Moscow and the Trump campaign. Stocks are slightly lower, led by losses in the banks after Britain announced it will formally trigger the process of leaving the European Union on March 29th. Britain's departure from the European Union will start a long negotiation with uncertain effects for banks and other companies. It is expected to become official in early 2019. Major indexes in Europe are also lower. Energy companies are falling as the prices of U.S. crude slips about 1%. Jury selection is getting underway in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and the trial of Penn State's former president, Graham Spanier. He's accused of putting children at risk by mishandling child sex abuse complaints against retired assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky. Spanier arrived at Harrisburg Courthouse today for a trial that could last a week or more. The person who shares a news story on social media is more important than the story's actual source in determining whether readers believe it. That's the finding of a study by the Media Insight Project. In a previous study, consumers said they paid greater heed to whether the story originated, but the Media Insight Project reached a different conclusion. The project is a collaboration between the Associated Press, the NORC, Center for Public Affairs Research, and the American Press Institute. Pope Francis has begged forgiveness for the sins and failings of the Church and its members during Rwanda's 1994 genocide and told Rwanda's president that he hoped his apology would help the country heal. In an extraordinary statement after Francis's meeting Monday with President Paul Kagame, the Vatican acknowledged that some Catholic priests and nuns succumbed to hatred and violence, betraying their own evangelical mission. The Vatican said Francis also expressed the desire that this humble recognition of the failings of that period, which unfortunately disfigured the face of the Church, may contribute to a purification of memory and may promote, in hope and renewed trust, a future of peace. The Vatican statement followed an official apology issued last year by Rwanda's Catholic bishops. In sports today, they're still talking about the big upset in the NCAA. Duke lost yesterday 88-81 to South Carolina. After the game, Coach Mike Krzyzewski said, At the end of the season, I want my guys to either be crying because we've lost or crying because we've just won. Coach Krzyzewski said, "This is one of the most proud teams for me. The NCAA men have no games today." South Carolina and Notre Dame both survived upset bids in the second round of the women's NCAA tournament, but the two number 1 seeds may have trouble advancing much further because of the knee injuries to key players. Gamecocks' Alicia Gray was carried off the court after hurting her knee before beating Arizona State. Notre Dame forward Brianna Turner went down with a left knee injury late in the first half of yesterday's victory over Purdue. She's getting an MRI today. Today's weather for the Ohio Valley. Today will reach 53 degrees with cloudy skies. Tonight, low of 44 degrees, and tomorrow, partly sunny and 54 degrees. For Franciscan Beat, I'm Matt Walker.